Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Soul and Grace podcast. I'm your host Danielle, and we are back after a very much unplanned hiatus, but good things happened during that time. Oh shit, my ring. But we are back and we are in full effect. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. Say it loud. I'm brown, because I'm brown. This is black. I'm brown and I'm proud. Happy Black History Month. We are going to get February started right because we are walking into February talking about things that we should have left in 2023, but guess what? Y'all done brought it over into 2024, so we have to discuss what are we willing to let go to meet our future self. What are you willing to just drop right now at this moment to meet your future self? Because I do not know, but we'll talk about where I'm starting. You know, wait. Before we get into that, first of all, how are you? How's your day going? Who do we need to beat up? Or who do we need to just cut them off? Because, yeah. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're as beautiful as ever, feeling as beautiful as ever. And if not, do something to make you feel good today. So go ahead and wrap up that day or night, morning. Because sometimes, stuff just come at you in the morning, 15 minutes after you got up and you started your day. So, yeah, Well, we are back to somewhat regular scheduled program. I ended up taking a very small break, but it was definitely needed. Because I think I was overworked, but I'm doing better. Got to plan for a lot of things and kind of really just not necessarily map out my 2024 or anything like that, but at least my February and some of March. But yeah, I just needed to get life together, my house together, the show together. Oh, excuse me. I hate when people burp on they podcast and they be burping in the mic or something. It's just like I'm not going to edit it out because I backed up. And the only people that's going to see this are people on YouTube. But yeah, at least I didn't do it into the mic, right? But yeah, I was getting aligned for what I'm trying to walk into and who I'm trying to be this year. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys got to do that for yourself. I know I kept saying on a little bit of the social media that I've been on, people are like, oh, my new year doesn't start until February 1st. And I completely felt that because, yeah, it just felt like we needed one more month. We needed one more month to wrap it up. I was ready, but I still needed that little small time. So I was getting aligned. And really, the one thing I've learned as a young adult and learning entrepreneur, and just, again, young adult, and also as a new mom too, is preparation is so fucking important. But I would say, while I don't have any resolutions for the year, one of my biggest goals is more so to just be better at things, all the things, because there's always something you lacking in, multiple things you could be lacking in, and yeah, I'm just trying to be better. That's my goal for 2024, just being better. I don't have a fucking list. I don't have a planner, because I love the planner concept. I love the planner designs. I love I love the idea of just having like another something, right? I remember getting my iPad and being like, I'm never going to need that. I'm never going to need that. I'm never going to need that. I got like 6 different planners after, I'm exaggerating, but at least like 3 of them after this. And it's like the whole point of getting this and the pen was like, oh, I'm going to do all the things from my iPad. How many times have I actually done that? Sometimes I do it in my notes because I'm a doodler. I'm a doodler. And it's easy to do it that way, but I'm not using it outside of that for anything. I do use my notes app and I use all of that, but I just can't commit to something else. Yeah, and even like I was just thinking, like, of course, like, don't we all want to be fucking billionaires so fucking bad? But so let's be realistic. Like, again, I just want to be better. I want to be better at making money, be better at knowing how to save money, especially just right now, because I swear to God, everything is just so high. It's like, what are you actually saving? Yeah. So I don't really have any of that. It's just I just want to be better at all the things so I can manage all of those things better, in a better way for myself in the future when I do got it all together. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, literally the other day, so I always talk about how I be having these downloads, especially like when I'm scripting the show or just thinking. A lot of times, like, it just happens a lot now. A lot of downloads randomly in the middle of the day or whatever. Constantly my mind is running or thinking about things or what I want to do. And not in a stressful way, but just in an overwhelming way, because it's just like, can I just think about one thing? And it's not ADHD or any of those things. It's just simply like, you can have a very flowing mind. And especially when you start doing this type of healing and stuff, like, even with me partaking in 420, I would say regularly, I'm not slow. I'm not slow. Like, I don't have stoner brain at all. If anything, I got the stoner brain that makes me fucking think entirely too deeply, but in an educating way. Like, I'm gonna go find the answer. I'm gonna go figure out whatever it is I want to know, or at least, like, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna look into it until I know everything about it. But everybody is not like that. They really are not. And some people are a little bit slower than that. But so when I have these thoughts, and so I guess my whole point of saying that was just to say, it's not influenced. This flow of downloads is not influenced by anything normally. This is just me processing events, personal interactions, conversations, freaking interactions, observations, just watching shit. Oh my God, if you just shut up, you see so much. And everything is so loud and it's so clear. Everything is so clear. But the other day, this question crossed my mind. Just and I think what started it was just thinking about, like, a lot of times when you know your life is going to be here, when you know that it's going to be here, you're constantly analyzing, okay, well, what can I do better this next time? But the question that crossed my mind was, what am I willing to let go to get to the next level, right? So that next time I got it. And the thing about life is you don't always have it that next time. Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. And that's just that's the yin, the yang to life, I guess. Like, that's the scale being even, it's 50-50. But what am I willing to let go of to get to that next level, to make sure that I get it that next time? And it's like, I don't know. The one time that I was faced with that decision, I was not willing to give up. I was not willing to give up the thing to get to the next level. If I'm just being honest. And since I made that decision, it's been 5 years. 5 years. But to my listeners and my future listeners, what do you think you are willing to do to make sure that you get to the next level? And I want you to think about that. And while you were thinking about that, we'll go ahead and get into this week's Gotta Have It. So this week's Gotta Have It is a little different because I think I've mentioned this project to y'all before, and I figure what better way to walk into this new year and Black History Month than to try out this exercise that I learned about a few years ago, and I'm still working on my word, and that is the Word of the Year exercise. And basically, there's a list of words, and I wrote them down on a piece of paper and cut them up, folded them, put them in a jar, and I'm gonna shake. And I figured that it would be pretty fun to do this live, because I haven't done it for this year, and because I'm not doing a resolution or anything, it's just kind of cool. This is a great way to find something to work towards into the new year, for yourself, for the month, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you want to do. It's completely up to you. So today we're going to pull one for me. And yeah, like I said, I haven't done this, so this is perfect. And what I will do is tag either I might make a download. I might make a download so that and it'll be free. It's just a word template. You'll have to print it out and cut it. And I don't even know, do they make raffle apps or something? You can put it all into there if you want to, but basically I'm gonna pull one word this time. You can pull 1 or 3 words, I believe. I'm sorry. 1 to 3 words out of the jar. And basically, you just use these words as kind of like a guidance, or just see how they resonate with you at first. Maybe they don't resonate with you. I don't know. That wasn't my case the first time I did it, but I think it's really cool. It's a little bit more specific than a resolution to me in my mind. So yeah, all the details will be in the bio, or on my website, because clearly I should make a download. I really should do that. Okay, anyways, so let me shake it for my AMSR girlies. I pulled 2, so I might just rock with that. And what is so scary about this is I've not opened these, but I can see from one of these words is literally the same fucking word. Let me just try to choose the other one. Resilience. Let's gonna focus for YouTube. Okay. Resilience is interesting. Encourage. This was my exact word. This was my exact word. Well, it's not gonna show it. This was my exact word a few years ago. And I've mentioned before on the pod that this is definitely something I am still working towards. And I'm sorry, y'all. But it's definitely still something I'm working towards because there are, I don't know, I just feel like, and I'm not going to blame it on the pandemic, but there are parts of life where it was like, oh, I couldn't act on showing that courage or gaining that courage. And not that I'm like a little punk ass bitch or anything of the sort. Nothing is wrong with that if you are. But it's just more of, even though I've modeled, even though I am a social butterfly or whatever, just certain things, you know, a lot of things we just know that we can do and we just decide, I'm just not going to be bothered with it, or you just talk yourself out of it, or you get distracted by other things. And for me, I had some great distractions. I had a baby. I had the pandemic. I actually made some good money during the pandemic. Some really, really good money. And, you know, so in those ways, it was fine. I also was pregnant during part of the pandemic. And just like, I think the pandemic changed a lot for some people just during that time. And now that we're finally getting back to normal, that's cool. But outside of that, in a new city, like a pandemic happened 2 years into me being in a new city that is so different from the other places that I've been. Just a lot of things, but now, like last year, I did so much. Even I did a lot of shadow work. I did so much, like spring to summertime to fall. I did so much stuff acting in, just having the courage. Having the courage to just do more. And I plan on doing, you know, having the courage to be better this year. So yeah, that is crazy. Again, there's a ton of these in here. And those came out. Now, resilience. Let's look that up. Or I'll ask Siri. Hey Siri, what is resilience? The ability of a person to successfully and quickly cope with a crisis. Hey Siri, what is resilience? Psychological resilience is the ability to cope mentally and emotionally with a crisis or to return to pre-crisis status quickly. The term was popularized in the 1970s and 1980s by psychologist Emmy Weiner. Sorry, love. I'm just trying to pronounce it right. As she conducted a 40-year-long study of cohort of a cohort of Hawaiian children who came from low socioeconomic status background. I'm sure. So resilience. I'm not really sure how that one resonates with me, but we'll find out. Cause I don't know. All I can just really say is like just maybe my ability to bounce back from whatever thoughts that might make me feel like I don't have the courage to do things. So yeah, well, I'll take that. But you know what, let's go ahead and jump into our search for soul. Oh, so why did I have a flashback of like the Vine days? I would imagine my audience is going to be old enough to know what Vine was, because I don't think it's around anymore, but like that trend where the chicks will be like, what they do for the, that was a wild time, because every little Instagram girlie had a what they do for the, and so many of them have been cheated on, but we don't talk about that over here. I know a little too much, because yeah, Hollywood is not a big place. But anyways, what they do behind that dangling, y'all remember that? It was cringe as fuck. But like, now that my brain, and I remember it being like super cringe, but also being like amused by it a little bit. But that's because I was young, right? But now that I'm older, me tiene un pregunta, because what the fuck, like, why is it that women, like, men sing about what they do for the coochie in a song, but why is it that women are the ones always embarrassing themselves about what they do for a male, or for his penis, or for that unnatural allegiance that Cat Williams was telling y'all about, that y'all be having to losers? Why is it that why do y'all be out there embarrassing us like that? And I'm sure I done embarrassed us at some point, but never in a sense of like I was rapping about dying for the dangling. No, never have I ever or would suggest dying for the dangling. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing shit for the dangling, because oh my god. We 8 episodes in now. Y'all about to know the real me. But you would never catch me rapping about that, because, honey, while together we are the prize. What are you willing to do for me? But besides that, again, because I don't want to talk about that on Soul and Grace, because before you give yourself to anybody, you need to be right. So listen to my podcast before you listen to the relationship podcast, because first you're going to find yourself, then you'll find love. Trust me, it's the best combo that way. But what I want to know is, what are you willing to do for yourself? Not for the dangling. What are you willing to do for yourself? What are you willing to do to see your future self? What? Well, you gonna die to see your future self? That's crazy. That might have been a little bit too aggressive, because I know a lot of people are not on that spiritual tip, but just think, some people do die trying to see their future self, like celebrities, trying to see where they can get, how far up the ladder they can get. I think it happens like that, but we don't want that to happen for us. But again, what are you willing to do for yourself? Like, what are you really willing to just let go of? Because when I think about it for myself, it's like, ooh, immediately, like, you are filled with the reasons why you need it, whatever it is, the reason why you need it, or why you're like, and you're internally trying to justify why you need something. And I'm telling you, like, even I'm sitting up here and I'm thinking, I couldn't tell you, because I want to just think about why I need everything else. And that's why I say I am on this journey with my listeners as well, because it's not something, this is a fucking marathon. This is not something that happens overnight. I'm gonna remind you that. But it's so much easier said than done, and so often we all speak before we've even experienced something. So we're already just telling people, oh, I wouldn't do that. It's never even happened to you. So you don't, how do you even know? You think you know, but you don't have an idea. You have no clue, really, until it happens to you. But why is it so hard to have the insurance within ourselves? The assurance that we know anything. The assurance that we can trust ourselves, that if we have the even itch of thought that we should let something go, why don't we trust that instinct or thought when it first comes about? Why do we usually find out the hard way? Why do we wait too long or too late? Why? Let's talk about it. So, while this is going to seem super minor to many, it's kind of big for me. It's not my first time doing it, but I recently deleted Instagram, like completely deactivated it, because first of all, it's been on my mind, but I can't seem to figure out what actual, like, why do I need it? Why do I care to update everybody on what I'm doing? Because if you know me, then, and we're cool for real, we're doing stuff together. So why do I feel like I need to update everybody? It feels so ungenuine. And I'm just tired of all the damn ads. I mean, I've been on Instagram since it was a thing. Like, that was like my second app that I was on, and it's just old now. It's not the same. It's just old, and it's just too repetitive, too fake competitive, too many ads. Everything's about money. Everyone's hot. Everyone's chiseled. Everyone's fucking fine as fuck. Everyone's got money. Everybody's got a fucking Benz truck. And while I will have my Benz truck one day, I know how y'all are getting those Benz trucks. And that's the crazy part. The hardest thing about entrepreneurship, especially once you cross that threshold and you get a little bit of money and you can get access to these things, and you find out these people's whole lives is financed on looks and goddamn credit. It's a letdown. It's a bummer. It really is. But I finally deactivated it, and at first, the first 2 weeks, I just had it deleted off. So if you're one of my friends and you're listening to my podcast and you're like, damn, I ain't seen you pass, baby, I'm off of that. And actually, I'm on TikTok. And I really like TikTok. I'm not gonna lie, because I've tailored my timeline to only the things that I want to see that motivate me to it's just chef's kiss. It really is. But they starting to get out of hand because of the damn TikTok shop and all of that. Also, So speaking on the things of like when my brain goes to why I need to keep some of these things, I felt like Instagram is kind of like the OG to where like if you have like I have my boutique or I have Sign Marie, and I always felt pressured like you have to have it to succeed, and I just don't think you do anymore. I've kind of had Sign Marie on hold just because of inflation, and like if I priced my clothing items how based off of what I have to pay as far as getting them from my designers and things like that, nobody's probably gonna buy it. So I kind of like put that on hold, and that's cool. But yeah, so I just always thought that was the case, and like the Soul and Grace page that I have for there, it's like, oh, at some point I felt bad about it, but now it's just a part of the journey. I'm letting go of it. You can find me on TikTok, like I said, because as long as they keep the algorithm the way like I can just tailor it to what I want to see, I'm there. I like it. I like the conversation too. It's crazy how the same people are on both apps kind of in a way, but the conversations are different. Now, what I have also learned is y'all crazy and y'all got too much damn time on y'all hands, some of y'all. But outside of that, everybody else is all right. And it's crazy how they'll rally up. This one chick has raised $500,000 for a homeless man. I think they're in Chicago or something. Beautiful. But yeah, I think like I said, I like TikTok because I can tailor it. Like I just want to tailor my whole life to my preferences, and right now Instagram don't fit that shit. And there's a lot of things that I'm just realizing just don't fit that, or where I'm at, or like what I want to do, from food, from people, from places and things. Like things I used to like, it's just like I could do without it. It's really not that cool anymore. And that is, it's like, it's growth, it's beautiful, but it's also just shocking as hell, because once you realize you're really moving on and it's kind of in the right direction, you can do no wrong. So that's kind of just how I feel about it. That's what I'm letting go. But again, when I think about what else should I let go, and of course someone's like gonna say, oh, just let go of bad habits and all of those things. And again, I'm just gonna be better at or I'm trying to be better at letting go of just whatever habits aren't tailored to that view. And that's different. But as far as social media goes, like there's going to be different things that I'll have a harder time detaching from. But social media is like, you can always re-download it. You can always, what's crazy is it asks me like 17 times, do you want to deactivate? Do you just want to deactivate it for 2 weeks, 6 weeks? It's like, no, I want to delete this shit, please. But I deactivated it because I like it, but I'm taking a break from it. Trying to get better at actual video content, because I've learned this skill over the years, and like I have the equipment, I have everything, I got everything, but I've lacked the courage to be consistent. So we're gonna keep doing that. But let me know what is something that you think you're willing to do to get to the next level, or you're willing to let go of. Again, for me right now, it's dumping Instagram. It's not a distraction. I don't have the itch to want to show people what I'm doing. That's the crazy thing. At some point, we never used to care about what people are doing. Now, everybody has their phones out. Even if I'm not showing what I'm doing, you're going to catch me in the back of somebody else's video just trying to catch a vibe. Just trying to catch a vibe. And that's crazy. But, yeah. all of these things can be re-downloaded, and they really aren't going anywhere, literally nowhere. Every day there's a new social media app. Did any of y'all like try to get onto the Lemon 8 app? Like, I have that. I haven't opened it like since last summer. That was supposed to be the new crave. And I thought it was going to be cool because it reminded me of Tumblr, but Tumblr is still a thing. So it's like, I just want to stick with the natural things. Of course, it's like everyone wants to be a content creator. That's the other thing. It's like, oh, that used to be so fun. And I think that is mostly what stops me all the time, is because content creation and doing these things is really a lot. It's really a lot of work. It's fun, but it's really a lot of work. And until you can, first of all, you have to trust people. You have to get contracts. It's not that easy hiring a team, because even if I sent this footage to somebody, there's no telling what's going on. Got my son going crazy in the background. Got to watch. There's so many things. Are they gonna edit it out? What if my boobs hanging out? Somebody's gonna like that. We gotta keep it clean, keep it cute, keep it clean, and do all the right things. So I'm just realizing, like, especially based on like a lot of outside interactions I've had, it's just like, what really makes me the happiest is not while I like going out and stuff like that, is really like, it's me physically being there, present in the moment, enjoying having that time. Anytime, the smallest things nowadays, especially with money involved, is I don't care how much money I get. The experience and all of that shit needs to make sense, and I need to feel fulfilled after the experience, because otherwise it's just like, oh, why'd I do that? And then especially if you spend a lot of money, you're like, oh, why'd I do that? Why'd I come here? Why'd they have to do that to ruin my, just anything? Like, yeah, so many things matter, but cut off whatever don't serve you. Whether it's social media, a person, a thing, an animal, a habit, whatever it is, just work on cutting it out, so that you're taking these steps to get closer to who or where you want to be, whenever that is, because you don't have to put a time limit on it either. But yeah, figure out what fucking serves you, what serves you, what fulfills you, and what pleases you, not from a person, from yourself. How do you do it without a person? No pun intended, but like, how can you be of service to yourself? Y'all always want to ask people, oh, what's your love language? What is your self love language? Like, how do you please self? Not in the sexual way, but you get what I'm saying. Let's hop into Queen. So, as we step into Queen, I wanted to I guess kind of look up or propose a question, or not necessarily propose a question, but more so share some tips on how to tailor your life. And I know you're probably like, how do you know? I don't know, but we're gonna use Google. Or not that I don't know, but the things like, I think, and this is why I say it doesn't matter how many books you read, or how many articles, or how many gurus, or whatever. The message is the same no matter where it's coming from. the message is the same no matter where it's coming from. So separation, detoxing, meditating, praying, separation or isolation. Lots of alone time. Like, those are the things I would normally say, but it's so repetitive. Because, yeah. Now, let me pull up this article that I found. And this is an article on CNBC. Their Make It thing. I don't know. I've never seen this, but it's basically under psychology and relations. The article headline is named, "Don't Just Make Resolutions. Be the Architect of Your Future Self," says Stanford-trained human behavior expert. The picture, corny, but they represent it for everybody. Two women friends with a blank photo frame standing against the colored walls outdoors. Female travelers posing at camera with empty picture frame. So, I'll tag this article because it's really short, but basically, they list out these three things that you could do to be the architect of your future, of your future life. And to start off the article, it says most people would agree, especially after a global pandemic, that nobody actually knows what the future holds. But very few of us apply this logic to our own personality. Shankar Vedantam, a journalist, I hope I didn't mess that up, Ms. V, a journalist and a host of the podcast Hidden Brain, go check our podcast out, calls the blind spot the illusion of continuity. And a TED Talk. Go run that up. I love a good TED Talk. When we look backwards, we can see enormous changes in who we have become. Excuse me, sorry, sir. But when we look forward, we tend to imagine that we're going to be the same people in the future. This miscalculation, he said, can actually harm us. My video went out because, of course, my camera overload. Great. Podcasting is so fun. We'll wrap it up. But you heard it here first. The camera overloaded, and the other camera is upstairs. And yeah, we're just going to rock out this way. I'll fill it in on the video for YouTube. But as to continue with this article, we sometimes make rash decisions assuming our perspectives, desires, or capabilities will never alter. This is a wicked problem, he said, as we spend so much time trying to anticipate what will bring us joy as we age. To make your future self happy, here are my 3 pieces of advice, he says. The first advice piece that he has for us is to stay curious. Accept the idea that you're going to be different in 30 years' time. If that's one of my favorite quotes, I don't know who it's from or what, or in my mind. I've just said this for the last couple of years, and it is simply that the only thing constant in life is change. To believe that I am going to be the same person, and I'll just throw this age out there because, again, like, I am in my mid-20s, and the way that my friends or high school, old school classmates and things like that people just expect for you to be the same person you were when you were 12, 13, 14, 15. They expect to know who you are. Hell, my mom struggles with this to this day, or at least, hey, I feel like it in a way. It's her struggle. She loves to live in the past about things or be like, well, you didn't used to do that. You didn't. Well, hey, I have a little more awareness on the subject and things, and I've actually been acting on it. So to assume that one like me, just to assume that I'm still that person is insane or anything of the sort. But there's no reason you should still be the same person. You, especially over a huge gap of time, you're telling me you didn't experience anything different. You didn't see anything, you didn't learn anything, you didn't practice anything, you didn't try anything, you're still the same person. That's actually very scary. And I would say avoid anyone, especially because while we don't talk about attracting partners, but for women, most of the time we're trying to attract homegirls and friends and girlfriends and just some type of community because we really need that. We run into these things, but it's so easy to avoid. It's so easy to avoid. And with the right community and even just the right, if you trust yourself, you can stay curious as well. The journalist noted, expand your horizons because you're going to become someone different. You might as well be in charge of deciding who that person is going to be, he said. And yeah, because who else is going to decide that? Nobody else is going to tell you to change. People are going to try to change you for who they want you to be or who they think you should be, but no one is going to be able to tailor you to be who you are fully capable of being or who you have the power to be. I don't think so. Even when like the term like, oh, I'm gonna boss your life up or something, that's they're doing that in the eyes of themselves or trying to model you like themselves or something else they've seen or think is best for you. So yeah, you should be the architect of your future self. Stay curious, that's the first thing. The second thing the journalist listed was approach life with humility. And that's so true too. I mean, in simplest terms, is like just laugh. Laugh and understand shit's gonna happen. It happens to everyone. It might not it may seem like in that moment it's happening to just you, but it's really not. Literally, shit happens every day. Every day, B. Every single day. It's sad, but in adulting is exactly that. Things happen every day. How do you handle it? That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing you should be paying attention to. How'd you handle it? How'd you move past it? But the journalist said, as we make pronouncements on social media or in political forums or at dinner parties, let's bear in mind that among the people who might disagree with us are our own future selves, he said. So when we express views with a great certitude and confidence, let's remember to add a touch of humility. And that's so true because sometimes your views change. Always your views change. How often do you just, like 5 years ago, you felt like something and now you feel different? Don't be a know-it-all because we don't know it all and you haven't experienced it all. So just be easy. Definitely be easy. And especially as a woman. Oh my God. I think, be strong, independent. Yeah. Don't let no one pull the wool over your eyes for sure. But don't be so loud. And of course, don't be loud verbally, but don't be so loud and wrong. Don't be so loud and wrong. It's ugly. Number 3 on the list, be brave. Be brave. We often associate aging with losing certain abilities, but that's just a part of the picture. Our future selves are also going to have capacities and strengths and wisdom that we do not possess today, he said. So don't tell yourself you can't take on certain tasks just because you don't feel like you have. Oh, excuse me. So don't feel like you can't take on certain tasks just because you don't feel like you have the bandwidth to handle them today. Your future self is stronger than you think. Be brave and accept new challenges. So, excuse me. Yeah, back to being brave. Basically, the journalist was just saying, when we get older, we often carry the age into the picture or the vision. So we kind of doubt ourselves before we even give ourselves like the chance to believe that we could do it. And the thing with age is like you get better with time, or you should, because again, only thing constant in life is change. You should be learning. You know, I'm so afraid I'm gonna start coughing. I'm like, hurry this shit up, wrap this shit up. Y'all see the wrap it up? Please, Lord. Woo. Yeah, but altogether, I love that it's so simple. Stay curious, approach life with humility, be brave. Be an open book to this thing, life. For me, have the courage. Have the courage. I got to have the courage. I'm learning to have the courage. I'm acting on the courage. What's sad is I remember when I first pulled that, I thought of like, I think courage is a lion from The Wizard of Oz, and it's just kind of like, I ain't no punk ass bitch like him. But in all actuality, was he really? He was brave. He was brave. But I will tag this article down below because again, it's so simple, quick read, and maybe I think this is the guy, handsome guy. Maybe. I don't know, but definitely check it out. And maybe it'll help. If you don't already, definitely get a notebook, because I feel like there are 1,010 videos on the internet about journaling and how to, and just like different scripting and different scripting prompts, excuse me. So I don't really like to bring it up, but when we talk about tailoring your life, write it down. Get your number 2 pencil, write it down. Get a pen, write it down. Just get a really nice journal and something that you can write these things down in, and write down the things that you want and think about how you can get there. Think about the things that you don't want to carry into that new life, or carrying onto that journey to the new life. Be very specific, very, very specific. Be specific on why. Definitely write down why you want to let things go, because self is already going to be telling you why you can't, but you need to be telling self of why you can and why something no longer serves you and why you do not need it anymore. Why can go on and get the fuck on? Tell it. Write it down in the universe so universe can get that message too. And then lastly, when you pull your word of the year or your words of the year, because you can pull multiple words, how do those words resonate with your future life or your future self, or where you see your future life, or where you see your future self? How does that word resonate with it? Journal about that too. How does your word of the year resonate with your future self or life? How does that word, like, how can you be better at that word? How can you, like, for instance, like, how can I be better at being courage or be better at having courage, or how can I have more courage, or what actions can I take to show myself that I have the courage, excuse me. And yeah, we'll close out Queen with that. I really hope, like, of course, I'm not a teacher, I'm not anything, but I hope you guys try these things because they really do help. And you at least have some, like, a 10 minutes to sit and do this. You at least have, even if it's while you're on the toilet, anything. You have the time. So yeah, I hope you make time for it. And let me know. Hit me up. Let me know. If you have questions about how it may pertain, your word may pertain to you, or anything, or any of the episodes, always feel free to reach out to me, or hit the question hotline below if you're on Spotify or whatever. Email me. And as always, we've come to the end of another good episode. And it's always so hard to stop rambling and say goodbye. But au revoir. Au revoir. And I will see y'all again next week.